everybody is actually looking forward to owning a house.
I was very, very happy when I got the allocation for the house.
Mortgage can actually work in Nigeria.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another enlightening edition of Everyone Deserves a Home, your trusted guide to mortgage finance, housing solutions, and the policies shaping the future. I am Aisha Mohammed Ahmed, and it is always a pleasure to have you with us. Today, we'll put the spotlight on women in housing. March 8 was celebrated as the International Women's Day, a day set aside to pay tribute and celebrate women for their achievements and contributions in all facets of human endeavors. In furtherance of this, we'll focus on what the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is doing to support women in housing construction and the bank's commitment to make housing more accessible and affordable for women in both the formal and informal sector. Do stay with us. Welcome back. We'll kick off with major activities of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. In the lineup, FMBN reaffirms commitment to service excellence as Savicom presents compliance scorecard, and Senator Ireti calls for women's inclusion in housing decision making. Stay with us for these and more. In a bold step towards enhancing service delivery and operational efficiency, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, has received the Savicom Compliance Evaluation SCE report for its branch offices. Presented by the Savicom National Coordinator at the bank's headquarters, the scorecard assesses the bank's adherence to service excellence standards, paving the way for targeted improvement. The report evaluated 16 service windows and assessed customer service delivery through interviews and document reviews. It recognized strong performance in states such as Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, and Ekiti, with Osun State receiving special commendation. The Savicom coordinator also analyzed the performance of the service windows, identifying areas of excellence and opportunities for improvement.
Analysis of performance of evaluated service windows. I wanted to keep this last, but let's look at the scores. These are the listed service windows. The highest we got here is 2.3, and then you can see Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Delta, and some other states. And 2.3 amounts to 57.5%. Notice that when last evaluation 47, so you can see the improvement, and so it's consistent.
Speaking during the presentation, the Savicom National Coordinator commended FMBN for aligning with service excellence standards while noting areas requiring further attention. In response, FMBN's executive management reaffirmed its commitment to continuous improvement. Shehu Usman Osidi also announced the bank's deployment of a customer survey and feedback mechanism, which is currently being implemented across its digital channels and for walk-in customers at its headquarters in Abuja.
One of the most important tools in gauging customer satisfaction is the deployment of the customer survey and feedback mechanism. Currently, the Savicom unit is running the customer survey on the bank's digital channels and for the walk-in customers at the head office. Customers are requested to rate their satisfaction with recent interaction with the bank on a scale of 1 to 10, using parameters such as responsiveness, attitude, competence, information, clarity of explanation, turnaround time, products and services, satisfaction, and overall experience. We will introduce this in all the branches in order to enable the bank to reap the benefits of comprehensive bank-wide customer feedback beyond the head office.
Shehu Osidi also emphasized the bank's ongoing initiatives, including the full implementation of its core banking system by March 2025, call center upgrades, website enhancement, and the launch of a customer care policy. He further reaffirmed the bank's commitment to exceptional service delivery and its readiness to collaborate with the Savicom office to promote best practices in the industry. Senator Ireti Kingibe has praised efforts to include women in key decision-making roles within the housing sector, emphasizing that gender inclusion is essential for the nation's progress. Speaking during a courtesy visit to the African International Housing Show, AIHS in Abuja, the FCT senator, who is an advocate for women's empowerment, stressed that women must have a seat at the table when shaping policies that directly impact their lives. In her remarks, marking the International Women's Day 2025 themed Accelerate Action, Senator Ireti said she has championed several community projects, including construction of a road in Karu and a 50-bed hospital in Gwagwalada. With her push for gender equality and development, Senator Ireti has praised efforts to include women empowerment in shaping policies that impact their lives. Thanks for being there. March is widely recognized as Women's Month, which affords them the opportunity to celebrate achievements and contributions of women in all fields of human endeavors. The theme for the 2025 International Women's Day, marked on the 8th of March, was for all women and girls, rights, equality, and empowerment. Central to this vision, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria continues to empower women to own homes, invest in real estate, and contribute to the sector's growth. In our next segment, we'll hear from key players driving this transformation in the housing sector. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Housing is more than just a shelter. It is a foundation of stability, security, and economic growth. In Nigeria, home ownership remains a major aspiration for many, and while progress has been made in expanding access to affordable housing, certain challenges persist. Among them is the need to ensure that more women have equal opportunities to own homes and contribute to the development of the housing sector. Recognizing this, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria continues to implement policies and initiatives that create a more inclusive housing landscape. While the bank provides a range of mortgage products accessible to all Nigerians, it also acknowledges the importance of ensuring that women who play key roles in households, businesses, and the economy are not left behind in property development and home ownership. And so, towards ensuring a balanced and inclusive housing sector, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is working on the idea of a special product for women in housing. The managing director of the bank, Shehu Usman Osidi, recently paid a visit to the Ministry of Women Affairs, where he shared his vision for the implementation of Women in Housing initiative, which is designed to serve all Nigerians while creating pathways for women to play key roles in the housing sector.
I would like to end by inviting you to join us to create a unique model, which we can call Women in Housing, where we work jointly to build housing estates, where the professionals and artisans are all women. This will be a unique model that will promote financial inclusion. The idea is that we will design houses. All the houses will be designed by female architects. All the engineers on site will be women engineers. From site clearance to the construction of the building to finishing, everything is going to be women. Honorable Minister, I came about this idea a few years ago when I was then in the course of my career with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. I was then heading a department called the Special Products Group. And so I came up with the idea. We were trying to create products to include all segments of the society into housing, into the housing finance space. And so I had a discussion with a group of women, and I said, why don't you create a group where we can build houses by women, everything from site clearance, all the laborers, all the artisans, all the professionals, in all of the fields, women. I believe that with you now sitting as the Minister for Women Affairs, and I know your passion for the development of women, and with me
as the MD of the Federal Mortgage Bank, I think the time is now that we can actualize this dream.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Honorable Iman Suleiman, responded to this initiative aimed at expanding women access to housing finance, literacy and other opportunities. She also emphasized the need to tackle housing poverty among Nigerian women so as to create an environment where they can thrive and expand on their vision and dreams.
Housing is one of the dimensions of poverty, and it is real for women. And it's also one thing that limits women from accessing finance, because we want to give women access to finance, access to digital literacy, access to markets, access to opportunities. And I know that when they have a home, they can leverage. And according to research, now poverty is multidimensional. So housing poverty is real. While I was in the IDP space in my previous role, I saw that some female-headed households have 5 families under one roof. We don't have strengthened systems. It's still work in progress. But when you go to places where there's insurgency, you run to your family. There's no way I have a sister who is being chased away by bandits. If there are 4 sisters, they have to move in with me. So we have to continue to be able to create solutions for those families, because when we look after their well-being and welfare, then they can be better outputs in society. Otherwise, we don't just sit down and wonder why we have Shika and Turji. They go through a process, and we don't want to be able to create many of them. So it's very important that we're very intentional. So this is truly exciting times. This is truly women o'clock. I look forward to us impacting in many, many lives. This is in line with President Bola Tinubu's agenda for women, for families in this country.
What stood out in the discussions was the emphasis on affordable financing, described as essential for increasing home ownership. The Executive Director of Loans and Mortgage Services, Honorable Mohammed Sani Abdu, explains the mortgage products available and the impact they are having across different demographics, including women in both formal and informal sectors.
If you want a nation to develop, then you have to develop your female sector of the economy. And more so, the Federal Mortgage Bank have been very sensitive to that, and that's why we have floated the informal sector products loan system. And they can come and get home renovation loan, they can come and get rent assistance, they can come and get even the NHF, because if you are a cooperative and it's easy for you to come together, 200-300 of you, we can finance your housing for you.
It is worthy to note that women are already making their mark in the housing sector as property developers whose work has been described by residents as qualitative, functional, as well as beautiful. The Abiskoli estate, located at Kuje, Abuja, is one estate where the inhabitants have given exceptional review. It was developed by Olori Felicia Saka, a successful estate developer. She shares her experience partnering with FMBN and how her projects are contributing to expanding housing options in Nigeria.
I was introduced to FMBN to a brother of mine that works there, and it has been tremendous partnering with FMBN, because they make housing easy for the citizens of Nigeria to, get. So we building, one of the constraints we have is citizens of Nigeria, getting the houses cash. But with FMBN, it makes it very easy, because now we are being paid by the bank, and the homeowner gets his house, and we're going to pay in bits for over a period of years. So it makes the housing, business very sweet. And it has been a tremendous, work with FMBN. Before I started working with FMBN, I have a minimum of like 9 staffs and all that, but now I'm counting up to like 50, and even the contract staff, so there are more than 200. So it has created a lot of job opportunities for the citizens of Nigeria.
The vision of women in housing is noble and workable. However, a thriving housing sector requires participation from all governments, financial institutions, developers, and aspiring homeowners, as the FMBN continues to bridge gaps and create opportunities to ensuring that every Nigerian, regardless of gender, has access to affordable housing.
The program is Everyone Deserves a Home, and in this episode, we are amplifying the vision of the FMBN for women in housing as Nigeria joins the rest of the world in marking the International Women's Day set aside to celebrate women for their contributions, especially in the area of property development and home ownership. In the past couple of months, we have shared inspiring stories of women making strides in home ownership. In this segment, we bring back some of the women that have benefited from the National Housing Fund scheme to become proud homeowners. Their stories are a testament to the opportunities provided by the FMBN and the National Housing Fund, through which women can achieve their dreams of home ownership. Keep watching.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Miss Adebola Adedoyin, Mrs. Okeke Onajife Ann, and Professor Ganiat are all proud and happy homeowners who benefited from the NHF scheme. Each of these women has a unique story about how their journey to home ownership began. Mrs. Okeke Onajife Ann owns a 2-bedroom bungalow in Brick City Estate, Kubwa, Abuja. She works as a marketer for a primary mortgage bank. Her enthusiasm for home ownership motivated her to benefit from mortgage financing.
I work in Nigerian Police Mortgage Bank and I don't have a house. There's nobody I will tell that will want to believe me. How can you work in a mortgage bank and you don't have a house? So that was my first inspiration, because in my department, I'm a marketer. So I really need to sell myself to encourage other people and make them believe that mortgage can actually work in Nigeria. So that was my first inspiration.
Although she was initially concerned about the 10% equity requirement, she secured an equity loan from her workplace. Since then, her journey has been marvelous.
I feel so fulfilled, Getting a home in Abuja, it's not easy. Especially getting a lump sum of money to pay. It doesn't come easy. So getting a home through mortgage, I think, is the best thing anybody can do.
Ms. Adebola Adedoyin owns a 2-bedroom apartment at Abiskoli Estate, Kuje, Abuja. She works with the National Open University of Nigeria. As a worker, she was aware of the NHF scheme, but took the initiative to learn more by making further inquiries. As a proud homeowner, she shares how fulfilling it is to own a house in Abuja without the burden of paying rent.
It's actually a thing of joy owning your own place in a place like in a city like Abuja, where every day the rent keeps going up and all that, and for you to be able to get one at your own convenience. Not convenience like that. What I mean by convenience is you can get it without the stress of having to pay a lump sum, or without the stress of a landlord stressing you that you must either pay me or you move out, you understand? So, and it's at your own convenience because the repayment is spread over a long period of time. So it's a thing of joy that you just have to wake up under your own roof and having a property to your own name.
Professor Ganiat is a distinguished professor of economics at the National Open University, Jabi, Abuja. She owns a 3-bedroom extension flat at Wood Hill Estate, Kuje, Abuja. Professor Ganiat began her journey to home ownership after learning about the opportunity through the National Housing Fund unit in her university. The initiative encouraged staff to become home owners, which ultimately became the turning point in her quest for a secure and affordable home. She talks about her joy of becoming a home owner.
House and vehicles, they are actually not luxuries. They are necessities of life. If you have a house to put your head to sleep and you have a vehicle to move you around, actually it makes life easy for one. And so I feel so good, I feel so glad, and I thank Almighty Allah that is able to do this for me, because having a house in Abuja is not a joke.
After hearing the stories of these women, one thing stands out. Women are breaking barriers and taking bold steps towards home ownership. Through the National Housing Fund, they have turned their dreams into reality, securing homes for themselves and their families. Their journeys prove that with the right support, women can own and shape their future through housing.
Our question for the week is, what is the FMBN doing to improve turnaround time for the approval of loans?
One of the things that the bank has done, we have brought in what we call core banking application. This core banking application has made the work easy. You, as a loan seeker, you can apply directly on that platform and your loan will come. So it doesn't, in fact, the management that we have now, it's every day, or let me call it every day or every other day, they call over for you to know, is there any loan approval that is still standing in your dashboard? You know, every person tries to clear their dashboard so that it is not standing with you. As long as the applications are properly filled, nothing kills them. We give the loans promptly.
And that's where we wrap up this episode of Everyone Deserves a Home, with a special focus on women in housing. May the stories of the women featured inspire more women to take charge of their home ownership journey, as well as venture into other areas in the housing sector. For more details about the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria and its initiatives, visit any FMBN branch office near you or log on to www.fmbn.gov.ng. As an NHF contributor, you can check your contribution status by dialing *219#. Until I come your way again next time, remember, everyone deserves a home. Enjoy the rest of your evening.